Welcome to the Emerald City, where the Seattle Reign hosts the North Carolina Courage. Seattle has been tough to break down thanks to Sam Meza and Sofia Huerta, this side keeping clean sheets in 2 straight at home. Meanwhile, North Carolina veteran Tyler Lucy looks to combine with midfielder Riley Jackson to make it 3 wins in a row for the Courage. It's Seattle and North Carolina, and it starts right now. We close out week 22 of the NWSL season with a Sunday showdown from Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, as the Seattle Reign hosts the North Carolina Courage. When these 2 teams last met all the way back in March, it was a 2-1 win for Seattle. Let's take a look at the standings across the NWSL. 2 points separate these 2 teams, but as you can see, North Carolina right now below that playoff line. If they win today, they move into postseason position. Hello, everyone. Alongside former Man United keeper Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Gary, we talk about 3 points going a long way throughout the entire season. We mean it today because there's only 5 games left in the regular season.
Oh, this is absolutely massive. And Sofia Huerta saying to us it's a playoff game, and Coach Laura Harvey said they have to win at home. So expect Seattle to come out here and play really hard. And if they do win, they go into 4th position above Orlando Pride. If they don't, they're on the edge of the playoffs. And I guess you could say the same for North Carolina Courage. If they win, they're going to join 5th on points with Portland. If they lose, they stay outside of the playoffs. So as you say, a massive 3 points today.
Well, Seattle has to start finding the back of the net, scoring goals. They've been shut out in 3 of the last 4 games.
Crucial here, Jordan Highton, if they get good service into what a great finisher she is with her head in particular. You can see that one against Houston Dash flying into the back of the net, and she can be useful with her feet as well. Jess Fishlock just building up down the left-hand side here against Chicago. A save from the keeper, gets knocked back into the middle. There's Jordan Highton, and just focus on her. She does like an overhead bicycle kick to get that one in the back of the net.
Well, Haitama hasn't scored a goal since the end of August, so certainly looking to get her going today. Meanwhile, for North Carolina, you know who's going? The dynamic duo, the 2 Japanese internationals, Shinomi and Manaka.
Oh, both wonderful players. Look at Manaka here beating her defender, cuts inside against Angel City here. Yes, it takes a slight deflection on the way in, but just her close control of the ball is so good, and she's such a dynamic player. And she starts off this move against Orlando Pride, but look in the middle, Shinomi running 89th minute, runs all this way into the box, slots this one to get them victory against Orlando Pride.
Well, that was the first ever NWSL goal for Shinomi. Meanwhile, Manaka has 6 on the year. Lineups and first kick on the other side between Seattle and North Carolina. Stick with us. Straight start in net for North Carolina. She is replacing Casey Murphy as the #1 keeper option for the Courage as we take a look at the starting 11 for Nathan Thackeray.
This is for the Courage. One change from the side that beat Orlando away. Hannah Bedford comes in up front for Courtney Vine, and Hannah will be hoping that Peyton Linehan on the right-hand side and Tyler Lucy on the left will provide some quality service to her. And of course, she's got support from midfield from the likes of Manaka and Shinomi.
Well, for Seattle, no goalkeeping issues. Iron Woman Claudia Dickey leads the way. She has 6 shutouts this year for Seattle. As we take a look at the starting 11 for Laura Harvey at home tonight.
Well, 3 changes to the team beaten by Kansas City. In come Sally Menti, Maddie Darlene, and Jess Fishlock. To the bench go Lou Barnes, Anhara, James Turner, and Mia Fischel. Now, it does say 5 at the back, but Jordan Hyden has suggested to us in the chat earlier on before the match that they're going to push their wing backs into more of a 3-4-3 shape, perhaps. And of course, Jess Fishlock will be working around that 10 position, trying to supply Haitama and Mondesir up front.
Well, we spoke to Jordan Haitama just about how to get this offense going here against North Carolina.
Yeah, I think we're trying to just take advantage of getting our height back, not sitting as much on our back foot, especially defensively, and coming after them really, and trying to get those transitions a little bit higher up the field, encouraging our players to get higher up and join attacks so we're not as isolated as a front 2 or 3. So I think those are the big goals. Obviously, we want to score some goals in front of our home crowd tonight as well.
And Jordan, just take us through specifically how you enjoy working with Maddie Darlene, Jess Fishlock, Norelia Mondesir. How do you work with them? How do you sort of get the best out of each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've really been starting to click. It's obviously we have such depth in our team that we're able to rotate our squad so easily, and really feel how good everybody is and how much quality they bring onto the field. So yeah, it's really nice. The connection, I mean, with Jess, I've been playing with her for a few years now, so her and I have a really good relationship. And Maddie, obviously being newer into the team, it's been fun to kind of form it over this year. And she's a rookie, but she plays with so much experience even at her young age. So I'm excited to see where she heads with this team. But yeah, looking to just keep going with that. I mean, it's the first season with this group kind of clicking the way that it is in a new formation, and I think that it's coming along in the way that it should, and yeah, we're excited to see where season goes.
Well, Seattle did not make the postseason in 2024, looking to turn that around here in 2025 with just 5 regular season games left, including tonight. So it will be North Carolina pink kits on the road. They will start with possession, blue kits at home for this Seattle side. Eligio Eriguin is our center referee. Elton Garcia on a VAR. Again, alongside Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. And we get ready to kick off from Lumen Field. A good crowd on hand, as per usual here in Seattle. 4 wins at home for the Reign. Well, they actually have the same exact record at home and on the road this season. In the last 3 games, Seattle's faltered a little bit as of late. Just 1 win and 2 losses, including a 2-0 loss to Kansas City last week, in which Kansas City won the Shield in that match. And for North Carolina, it's been the opposite, unbeaten in the last 3 matches. You know, 2 straight victories as well for North Carolina against Angel City, and then last week against Orlando. Left it until the 89th minute to win against the Pride. It was Shinomi with the game winner as we are underway here in Seattle. Well, the last time these 2 teams met, it was week 2 of the NWSL season. A lot has changed for both of these sides. New personnel. At the time, Jaden Shaw was on this North Carolina roster, and Sean Nahas was the head coach. And now it's interim head coach Nathan Thackeray leading the way for North Carolina. Here's Maddie Darlene in the starting 11 for Laura Harvey. Darlene, after coming off the bench in the last 2 matches. McLaren drives forward. And out of reach there for Maddie Curry.
Just to confirm again what we said at the beginning of the match, it's a massive 3 points for both these sides. The difference in position on the table from winning this match or losing it is huge. It's huge with confidence. And this with 5 matches to go, if you're in the wrong position, if you're battling on the edge of a playoff spot, after this match there'll be 4 left. It gets extremely tight, extremely pressurized. So 3 points, just huge for either side here tonight.
Well, both these clubs have a lot of success in the past, so there's pressure to make the postseason. 3 shields for both Seattle and North Carolina in their history. 2 NWSL championships for the Courage as well. Ryan Williams, Shinomi, Peyton Linehan, Manaka, leading scorer. There's a miss on that pass there. Manaka has been playing very well for this North Carolina team. This is her 3rd year in the NWSL and absolutely her best season. 6 goals and 4 assists in the previous 2 seasons for Manaka. 3 goals and 2 assists.
Wow, who does that from midfield? If you do that as a striker, it's not a bad season, but as a midfield player, that is absolutely phenomenal from Manaka. And if she's not scoring or assisting, she's creating or winning the balls in the midfield. So wonderful player to have in their side.
Darlene gets fouled. Actually, we play on there. Marissa Jordan in the starting 11, her 4th straight start, made 7 saves and registered her first shutout as the starting keeper for North Carolina. It's a coach's decision. Casey Murphy having a bit of a shaky season so far, typical starter for this North Carolina team, and so Jordan slots in and she's done well.
She has done so well, and we got a chance to chat to her during the week, and she said, we asked her about her first game, and said it was more of a relief. She'd been waiting and waiting year after year for the opportunity. She was excited and nervous, and she says she's just been growing match by match, has been getting better, and it certainly seems the case when you watch her.
Macy Bell played up ahead to Ryan Williams, and just a goal kick for Claudia Dickey.
It really has been an interesting change for North Carolina Courage, with Nathan Thackeray taking over as the acting head coach. 2 back-to-back wins. He really has improved this team in so many ways. They used to be very much a possession-based team, and if you look at their last 10 games, impressive there. Used to be very much possession, 65% on average, and now it's down to 52. They're more interested in keeping tight defenses and making themselves difficult to break down. And then he said the other thing is they try and get numbers into the box whenever possible.
Now Sophia Huerta on the throw for Seattle. Fishlock, Darlene. The rookie Darlene moving towards the middle, lifts and is well wide. And Jess Fishlock, her 200th start in her NWSL career. An incredible feat that only one other field player has accomplished. It's Lauren Barnes, also on this Seattle team, and then goalkeeper Alyssa Nair has also reached that mark as well.
You can add in some crucial goals that she scored, just going back a few weeks to the Racing Louisville game, coming on as a sub and scoring in the 89th minute. Absolutely brilliant player, great example, and a leader in that locker room there for Seattle Reign.
Well, Fishlock's been coming in off the bench in the last 2 games, but she earns the start after her second half performance, says Laura Harvey, that second half against Kansas City. And Harvey said, obviously disappointed that they lost to the Current, but they were really focused on Racing Louisville, on this game. These are the teams that are around in terms of making the playoffs, around in the standings, so they need to win these matches.
Yeah, they need to win these, the home matches, and as you say, the teams around them. That's again why this is such a crucial match. We talk about 6-pointers. This, I think, is a classic case of, you know, you beat your opposition, you keep them away from you. It gives you a better chance of making the playoffs.
Manaka, Riley Jackson. Off the swing to Macy Bell. Traded from Gotham last year. Macy Bell on the combination with Peyton Linehan. Off the cross, Williams, back post, header! Off the crossbar! Manaka almost with her 7th goal this year.
What a save there from Claudia Dickey. Absolutely brilliant reflexes to tip that onto the crossbar from that Manaka header. Beautiful cross coming in from the right-hand side. But I'm pretty sure the goalkeeper got a hand to that, and she has been in brilliant form all season, Claudia Dickey. And I think we get to see that again. You'll see it's another incredible save from the #1 for Seattle Reign.
Well, she's second in the NWSL in total saves as we take a look at this again.
Keep an eye on the goalkeeper, moves across the box. There you go, 2 hands, pushes it onto the crossbar from that Manaka header, and you'll get to see it again. Brilliant save, just enough strength to get it up onto the crossbar. Not a bad header from Manaka either, but brilliant goalkeeping from Claudia Dickey.
Well, Dickey has been with the club since 2021, but last year was her first full season as the starting keeper for Seattle. She's closing in on Hope Solo's record with the Reign in total saves. This adds another one there.
And by the way, I mentioned from Manaka playing in midfield once again in the box, once exactly as Nathan Thackeray says, try and get our midfielders to arrive late into the box.
Manaka finds Tyler Lucy. Running into Curry, Lucy shoots, and it's blocked there by McLaren.
Wow, getting some good early chances here. North Carolina Courage. Once again, Monarca involved. Tyler Lucy does well. Cuts back here. Has an opportunity, but it gets blocked. So good defending from McLaren. But it's got to be a little bit concerning for Laura Harvey that at home they're under such pressure from the Courage.
Linehan off the service. Bounces to Huerta. Manaka, Shinomi. Another service here for North Carolina. Ricochets out. Jackson. And Kaylee Kurtz. 110 straight starts for Kaylee Kurtz as a center back for North Carolina. That is an NWSL record. Fighting Darlene and Bell. Bedford with a quick throw into Jackson. Into Darlene, those two teammates on the U20 U.S. Women's National Team, Darlene and Riley Jackson. On the other side here today.
I think it might have hit Darlene's hand, and there's a free kick, but look at her position. She's not playing as suggested as a back five. She's pushed up, which is what Jordan Heitema said to us. They're going to try and push the line of confrontation up, and Maddie Darlene on that left-hand side will probably spend as much time as a winger as she would as a left wing back.
No, it's a free kick for Jackson and North Carolina in the opening 10 minutes of this match. Kurtz. Shinomi. Stretching for it, Jackson collides with Meza. And Riley Jackson wins out. Williams slicing, Jackson, Meza wins the second time around. Now Sam Meza is tied for first in terms of total tackles, tackles won in the NWSL. Well, this match is brought to you by Tide, the official laundry care partner of the NWSL. Huerta, Fishlock, Phoebe McLaren, Curry, wide with it. Joined from Angel City in the offseason, Fishlock into space, and it's a heavy touch. And it's knocked right to Jordan.
Of all the players you'd want on the end of that, it would be Jess Fishlock. She's the one you would think would control that and get the shot on target. So unlike her, but I guess nobody's perfect. Lovely ball through. And a good opportunity for Seattle Reign to apply some pressure on their home turf. Now let's see if they're high pressed. There was some suggestion that they would try and make it difficult for the Courage to play out from the back.
Well, Fishlock, 5 goals and 2 assists this year, 77 goal contributions in her NWSL career. That's 47 goals and 30 assists. Linehan, traded from Portland just a couple of weeks ago. Now Laura Harvey just praising what Linehan has added to this team and her ability to stretch in behind. And since North Carolina has been a little bit more transitional, she fits in well. The pace that Linehan has in her second year in the NWSL.
Yeah, Coach Harvey saying they've changed their game under Nathan Thackeray. She was giving some credit to the new coach, or interim coach, at North Carolina Courage, but such a successful coach. Laura Harvey has been through so many different phases of Seattle Reign, and this time around she was saying she's got a really deep squad, a squad that she's excited about, lots of good young players. Maybe there's a great future ahead for Seattle Reign, but first job is to make the playoffs this season.
111 wins for Laura Harvey in her NWSL career. That's the most of any coach. And for a while, the Seattle team Sofia Huerta telling us we're typically the oldest team, and now a bit of a youth movement, and there's a learning curve with that. Some of the young players like Darlene and Emery Adames, Jordan Bug, making an impact, but of course it's tough to adjust to the NWSL. And Seattle finds themselves in playoff position at the moment, trying to hang on. Aurelia Mondesir, the Haitian international, earns a corner kick.
Well, it's a pity she couldn't get the ball in. Heitemer made a really good run to the near post. Maddie Darlene was at the far post, just waiting for the service to come in from Aurelia Mondesir. Again, a little bit of good on the front foot play by Seattle Reign. That'll get the crowd fired up here at Lumen Field.
Now Sofia Huerta steps back to take this. All-time assist leader in NWSL history with 32. Huerta, Meza, off the bounce and high.
Oh, it was worth an effort. Didn't quite get over the ball, Meza. It comes in a sort of quite a difficult high bounce off that turf, and she can't quite get over the ball. But that's better. It's been a tough first few minutes for the home side, and only a brilliant Claudia Dickey save has kept the clean sheet, but slowly they're working their way into this match.
Well, this Seattle team has just struggled to find the back of the net consistently. You go back to August 18th against Chicago. It's likely a game that Laura Harvey would like to forget because Chicago stormed back and scored 3 goals at the very end of that game. But 3 tallies for Seattle, and then since then they've just been unable to find a multi-goal performance. In fact, just 1 goal in the last 4 games for Seattle. That was Jess Fishlock, her game winner against Racing Louisville. Darlene surging against Williams. Darlene shifts to her left, shoots, and Kurtz is there.
I just think whenever Maddie Darlene's on the pitch, it's a much better Seattle Reign. Her pace threatens defenses. She's been on the outside looking in from the bench last few games, but I just think she's a wonderful, wonderful threat down that left-hand side for Seattle Reign. By the way, we did ask Laura Harvey a week ago about the Chicago match, and she said, I don't want to talk about it. Please don't ever raise it again, because, in a joking manner, of course, because she said, I never want to see a team of mine be 3-0 up at home and concede 3 goals ever again.
It really was, it is unheard of from a Seattle side. And that was the beginning, I think, of the NWSL realizing that Chicago was going to make some noise at the end of the season. Already eliminated the Stars, but they've been playing spoiler since the summer break, really.
Them and Utah Rules as well. What a change for both those sides. But I think also since that match, Laura Harvey's saying they've dropped into more of a mid to low block. They've been defending more, and Phoebe McLennan and those have been doing a good job at defending, but that's been their focus. I get the sense here today they're going to try and push forward a little bit more, move away from that mid to low block, and try and get more on the front foot. I'm not suggesting there'll be a constant high press, but certainly, as you can see here, it's a high press that starts maybe in the middle of North Carolina's half of the pitch.
Well, maybe applying a little bit of pressure to Mercer Jordan. That's something that Orlando did. Jordan said she had to try to figure that out in real time, as she's still learning the ropes here as being a starter in the NWSL as a keeper for North Carolina. Kurtz slips that one past and right into Seattle. Sally Menti. Fishlock. Oh, the captain gives it away. Williams now possesses for North Carolina. Lucy, Manaka. Quick touches. Weatherholt. Return to Lucy, holds it up. Finds Manaka. Takes a shot and is high.
Well, once again, Monaco's just so good with their feet, and Coach Nathan Thackeray telling us that both she and Shinomi might not be the quickest, but their technique, the touch on the ball here, control, find a little dummy there, and then find a gap, open up some space, and get the shot in. And there is Nathan Thackeray, and both those midfielders are so clever on the ball. He says their intelligence level, their football IQ is through the roof, and they're both youngsters. In fact, all three in midfield, Riley Jackson, Manaka and Shinomi, average age of 20 across all three. So there may be a great future ahead if they all stay at the Courage.
Well, Manaka and Shinomi spent some time with the U20 Japanese national team prior to this season as well. So it made the transition, I think, a little bit easier for Shinomi joining this North Carolina squad. They won silver at the World Cup last fall. Jordan Bug. Oh, the last time these two teams played, Jordan Bug had quite the goal from distance. Proved to be the game winner.
Golasso.
Fishlock trying to find Darlene. Bumped out there by Williams, Linehan, and Shinomi.
Also a match in which Fishlock scored, so who's to say she won't pop up again today? Certainly has the ability, and she's playing in quite a high position. There she is, almost leading the attack. She'll drop back now, but she does run alongside Jordan Heitema, try and get the knockdowns wherever possible.
Shinomi breaking lines to Manaka. Weatherholt, and Manaka gets fouled. The card's coming out against Sally Menti. It's the first booking that we've seen in this match.
And if you look at Manaka's first touch, it's just missed it there, but her first touch is so good. It allows her to turn immediately with the ball and go, and Sally Menti is then chasing her and takes the risk of lunging in. But it was her first touch, her turning movement with the ball that was so good by Manaka. And once again, proves Nathan Thackeray's point that when it comes to technical ability, Manaka is absolutely top class.
Williams, Linehan. Riley Jackson and Shinomi. Lucy, Manisir steals, plays it forward to Heitema, waiting for help. Menti, Heitema, she didn't have numbers on that. Manisir surveys, Menti, Darlene calling for it, and was trying to slip that into Heitema through the middle. Linehan, Manaka and Shinomi. Well, calm things here for North Carolina, who's dominating possession at the moment.
Yeah, the average possession's been 52% for the last 3 games. And as we were mentioning earlier, not quite the same possession stats they used to have. Though today's been a little bit different. And again, I get the sense that Seattle do drop into that mid to low block. Sometimes they feel comfortable getting numbers behind the ball, and that lends to that possession number for North Carolina. Courage.
Ford fights for it, finds Lucy. Manaka hesitates. Jackson, can she get there? No. Darlene clears, at least for now. Weatherholt skips past Monday Sear on the wing. Weatherholt calling for a foul, not going to get it. Laura Harvey just praising Mondesir and the physicality that she can bring to the game. That one pretty obviously a foul.
Mondesir saying there was a handball before the foul. Danny Weatherholt saying there was a foul before the handball, and then there was a foul afterwards. Eventually we're going to get it all sorted out. So there's the first claim of a foul by Danny Weatherholt. Then watch the ball jump up and hit. Well, it actually hits the shoulder, but she's claiming it was a handball, Mondesir. And then some more wrestling goes on. So big tussle between those two.
No, Weatherholt has started 4 of the last 5 games for North Carolina. It was on injured reserve for the beginning of the season. Jackson on the set piece opportunity for the visitors. Looking for Kurtz through the air. Bell, 6 a leg out. Lucy fires, no. Meza. Returned, though, to North Carolina. Jackson plays it long. Linehan lifts it into the 18. Mondesir blazing back off the interception. Huerta has started every game for Seattle. Huerta since she returned from her loan with Lyon. Huerta used that time with Lyon to just work on 1v1 situation. She says it's been very helpful back in the NWSL with all the speed that you see across this league.
Interesting, asking her about the difference in that time she was away at Lyon in France. She said it's more transitional in the NWSL. I think they tend to play more possession football in Europe, but she did say it was great being one of the best teams in the world, most successful teams anyway, in Lyon, and being part of a different culture.
Jackson from distance over the crossbar. Yeah, Huerta just said it was an opportunity to challenge herself just outside of soccer as well. Move to a new country, experience new culture. See a lot of players doing that now that there's so many options in women's football. As Claudia Dickey is down right now, the keeper for Seattle, it is going to give both these teams an opportunity to talk things over.
That will certainly help Nathan Thackeray if Seattle lost Claudia Dickey, this form she has been in. They've got Maddie Prohaska on the bench as their option.
No, Prohaska hasn't made an appearance this year because Dickey's an Iron Woman so far. Standings 5 through 12 in the NWSL right now. Things are so tight. You can see that right now, if this would stand, North Carolina would just very slightly move past Racing Louisville.
It is so tight and it can all change in a moment. And in fact, North Carolina Courage hosts Racing Louisville next match. So that'll be another 6-pointer for them. I think right now their focus is on this game, see what they can get out of this game, and then they'll worry about Racing Louisville next.
Well, obviously draws are great in terms of just protecting yourself, but I think at this point all these teams really want to pick up 3 so they can just create a little bit of separation because things are so tight. Here is the upcoming schedule for North Carolina taking on Racing Louisville, and then you have a mix of at Bay, that's still difficult. Washington, Gotham, that's going to be hard. This is a pretty tough schedule for the Courage.
It certainly is, which is why points in this one and Racing Louisville so important. For Seattle, they've still got 2 home matches against Bay FC and Utah Royals to come, which they would like to think they can get 6 points from those 2. But the way Utah Royals are playing these days, that might not be as easy as it might have seemed a couple of months ago.
Washington, Gotham, Kansas City, those are the top 3 teams right now in the NWSL. Kansas City has already won the Shield. They were the fastest team to do so. Accomplished that last week against Seattle at CPKC Stadium. And so now everybody just attempting to make the postseason and win that NWSL championship. Linehan surveys and uses Jackson behind her. The Shinomi gets tripped by Mandesir. Quick to Kurtz. Shinomi. Weather holds. McLaren into the crowd at Lumen Field. And a corner kick coming. North Carolina looking to take the lead on the road.
They're putting on a good display so far. The courage are of just controlling the ball in midfield. Neat, accurate passing between Manaka, Shinomi, Riley Jackson, and those up front like Tyler Lucy. It's making it very difficult for Seattle Reign to get hold of the ball.
Linehan, Shinomi, Manaka. Linehan can't get there.
That looked like it was rehearsed, and that was literally inches away from being a fantastic move that would have seen Linehan get right in the box on her own with a chance to cross the ball.
Well, for Linehan, this is 3 straight starts under Nathan Thackeray. Did have a goal with Portland this year, Linehan, but hasn't started, or excuse me, hasn't scored with North Carolina. Mandesir off the turn, being bothered there, a pile up, playing through the contact, and now we get the whistle. Tyler Lucy and Mandesir are both down.
Tyler Lucy just trying to battle there. The legs almost got entwined. I don't think it was necessarily a bad tackle, more of just legs catching each other, and they both went down. Certainly as a free kick, but I don't think there was any intent from Tyler Lucy.
Well, training staff will come out to take a look at Mandesir for Seattle.
She's taking a bit of a knock on her shoulder. They do have options on the bench if there is any issue here. Emery Adamas, the 19-year-old, has got 6 goals this season, hasn't had much of a look in recently. She would always be an option to come on. Mia Fischel, who's played quite a few games but hasn't quite done enough, I think, to impress Laura Harvey, hence the fact she's on the bench today. And even Anna-Marie Srnogorcevic, the Swiss international, is available. So a nice deep bench. Plenty of options there for Laura Harvey.
Yeah, Adamas has 6 goals this year for Seattle. Mandesir still getting tended to. Well, the Golden Boot race heating up as we reach that point of the NWSL season. Tema Shawinga and Esther battling in first. They're going back and forth pretty much every week. But then Gift Monday had a hat trick today, so she's entered the conversation for Washington. It was a 4-0 win for the Spirit over Houston today. Pretty lopsided result.
Very much so. And if you haven't seen the goals, go and see them and look out for Cantore's goal in the 82nd minute. Wow.
Well, if you stick with us, you'll see it at halftime.
There you go.
Well, Mandesir just stretching out that right arm. Was the first Haitian-born player to score in the NWSL last year. Mandesir hasn't found the back of the net here in 2025. Well, this match is brought to you by Tide, the official laundry care partner of the NWSL. Bell, Williams, and Jackson. Well, it's pretty impressive that North Carolina has won two games in a row when you consider just some of the challenges they faced this year. Of course, making a coaching change in early August. Sean Nahas relieved of his duties Nathan Thackeray takes over. Denise O'Sullivan, their captain, is out with a lower body injury, and she has been the engine in the midfield for so long for the Courage, been out since the middle of August. And Ashley Sanchez, key to their offense, has missed the last two, was listed as questionable and is not available today.
Jaden Shaw's been sold, amongst other things. There's been a lot of changes in the last 6 weeks, as we see Claudia Dickey just looking on there. And again, great credit to Nathan Thackeray that amongst all of that, he's got, what, 2 wins and a draw from the last 3. He's turned this team around. They really are playing good soccer at the moment, and well, it remains to be see if they make the playoffs, but I would think they've got a very good chance.
Jaden Shaw traded to Gotham just a couple of weeks ago. Shaw was only with this North Carolina team for a little over half the season. Seems like it's working out very well, though, for Shaw. He's 20 years old with Gotham now. Haitama tangled up with Kurtz.
It's good play from Jordan Haitama. You feel the contact, you go down, you win the free kick. Just allows the whole team to push up in numbers. Kelly Kurtz doesn't think it's the right decision, and she's laughing about it. But for Jordan Haitama, it just takes a bit of a pressure off the team, and they can get numbers up. Maddie Darlene in particular, they need her pace up front on that left-hand side there, and you can see now they've managed to push a lot of those dark blue jerseys into the opponent's half.
Huerta evades the pressure. Bedford cuts it back through the middle. Lucy. Manaka. McLaren just trying to shade it out. McLaren stays strong.
It was a good battle there between McLaren and Manaka. McLaren gets the better of it, but Manaka kept nibbling away there. She felt she had actually got a corner out of that. Referee doesn't agree.
Huerta. Neza. Haitama. And Curry. Maddie Curry. That pass does not connect with Sally Menti. One back though. Regained by Seattle. Curry goes down in the 18. Ooh. Did she get tripped by Bell? That's the question.
Certainly looked like it there. Doesn't seem to be much complaint though coming from Seattle Reign. I'm sure VAR is going to have a much closer look at that, but Madison Curry seemed to get tripped up after she played the ball. And yet, you would have expected, if it was the case, she would have put her hand up and appealed to the referee, and she didn't. But then neither did Manaka in the last match when she was brought down in the Courage match against Orlando Pride. And she didn't complain, and they didn't give a penalty, and we've just heard that the check has been complete. And there was no contact. The defender got the ball, so there you go.
Chinomi. Linehan. Williams off the cross. Jordan Bugg steps in front. Well, Bugg just 19 years old. 5 appearances. And she joined this club in 2024 through the U18 mechanism. And now a regular starter for Harvey in that back line. Earned call-up to the U.S. Women's National Team in the last international break. And there's an upcoming international break at the end of October as well. Underlapping run, Weatherholt. McLaren clears. Manaka, Shinomi. Jackson. Williams. Linehan, another cross, Bug intercepts.
Just struggling to get possession. Still Seattle Reign. Reminds me a lot of the Racing Louisville match recently, that Seattle just sat back a lot of the game, and in this mid to low block they didn't have much possession. Racing Louisville had by far the better of the chances, and what happens at the end, they get a little moment, they get Jess Fishlock into the box, she tucks one in the corner, 1-0, 3 points. And that's often how Laura Harvey likes to play it. Give nothing away, keep that clean sheet, and then try and pounce at some stage in the game, normally towards the end. Maybe now.
Trying to catch Jordan off her line. Jordan is off her line, but not enough power to that.
Oh, the idea was good. Just didn't get the right connection there, Jess Fishlock. We're just talking about how they wait for little opportunities, Seattle Reign, and that certainly was one.
So this is back to what we thought could have been a penalty in the moment. This is Curry and Kurtz, and then Bell with the clean tackle.
Yeah, Bell plays it against Curry there as she gets the ball first there and plays it into the feet of Curry, and that trips up Curry. Interesting, when the player doesn't appeal, that gives you the sense that they know it's not a penalty, but very close though.
Weatherholt picking up speed. Now Lucy 1v1 with McLaren. And nobody on the end of that cross except for Sally Menti for Seattle. Haitema steps on Kurtz.
These two having a real bumping session. Now it's the foul against Haitema. Before that it was foul against Kaylee Kurtz. I don't think that's the end of that little contest.
Well, next week's action kicks off on Friday as Avery Patterson and the Houston Dash take on Marta and the Orlando Pride at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Prime. Both of those teams really need to win that game because they're trying to make the postseason, and Orlando is in playoff position, or I think Houston on the outside looking in at the moment after that 4-0 loss to Washington today. McLaren, Meza. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. No score yet between North Carolina and Seattle at Lumen Field. Bell, Jordan. Played long, Manaka controls off her body. Little touch there to Williams. Back to Manaka. Shinomi. Jackson. Jackson, Manaka on the same page. Riley Jackson, 19 years old. Linehan. Williams, Jackson, tight passes here for North Carolina. Now Weatherholt stands back from distance. Jackson. Credit to Seattle, they've stayed very organized so far.
They certainly have. They're just not creating much. Their expected goals in this first half, 0.11. Whereas for North Carolina, Courage is 0.43. Not a single shot on target from the Reign. They've had about 1/3 of the possession. So it really has been a dominant first half performance by North Carolina Courage. But the scoreline remains 0-0, and that'll do for Seattle Reign. They will look to get something second half, but they've never really worried about anything other than the scoreline. Even their touches in the opposition box, just 4 for Seattle Reign, 10 for North Carolina Courage. So the stats suggesting that the Courage have had by far the better of this first half.
Well, the Seattle team is last in total shots in the NWSL, but they're first in terms of goals to shot percentage. So efficient. Linehan and Bug out of trouble for now. Fishlock. Looks like she ripped down Jackson. Not pleased with that call, Jess Fishlock.
Neither are the fans, letting referee Elijo Araguin know that they're not happy. He's just testing the ball here. Let's see if we can see anything there. Hard to see whether there was a bump or not. Jess Fishlock, a couple of hand signals letting the referee know that she doesn't agree with that.
Well, Fishlock has been with his club since 2013. And Linehan looks uncomfortable. Walking pretty gingerly right now for North Carolina.
Well, they have some good options on the bench, does Nathan Thackeray. Up front, Aline Gomes, the Brazilian, super exciting player. And Courtney Vine, the Australian, might play that wide role, although she normally plays through the center.
Linehan steps back on. Manaka being bothered by Sam Meza. Sam Meza has been quite the find for Seattle. Last year she went on loan to Dallas Trinity in the USL and took that time to really just focus on herself. It's not what every player wants to do when you join the NWSL, immediately get loaned out, but she took that time. She went home. She's from that area and immediately has made an impact in that midfield. In fact, the Seattle team really runs through Sam Meza, all the good defensive work that she has done. Jordan Kurtz. Four minutes of stoppage time. And North Carolina pinned back a little bit, inching forward. Haitema, Fishlock, a little bit of pressure from Seattle. Kurtz uses her keeper, Jordan. Stands at 6'2".
Looks a very, very good goalkeeper. Hasn't really been tested in this first half. She's been pretty much a spectator for most of it. I'm pretty sure that Laura Harvey want to change that in the second half. Get some shots on target.
Is that difficult as a goalkeeper when you haven't seen much action, if something does come your way?
It can be, but it's part of the job of a keeper, especially if you're in a team that dominates games, which certainly possession-wise North Carolina Courage have done. You've got to stay focused. You've got to stay in the match. Often you communicate with your defenders to try and keep you sharp and aware, and it's your job to be ready if there is a breakthrough from the opposition.
Well, no breakthrough there. Bug. Huerta. Claudia Dickey. And McLaren for Seattle. Monday Sear. Williams. Bell. Well, it's been unfortunate for Seattle. They've been without Lynn Biondolo on a consistent basis. All-time leading scorer across all competitions in the NWSL. And Biondolo's out with a knee injury and was traded in a massive trade in the offseason from Gotham.
Didn't she make a big impact when she first arrived? She was quick, strong, dynamic. Laura Harvey was talking about how great she is at defending, the first line of defense from an attacker's point of view. And all of a sudden then the injury, and they've lost what we all know is a super quality player.
Yeah, 82 goals across all competitions for Biondolo, but just getting her some reps with Maddie Darlene, you have to think that's a pairing to watch in the future if Biondolo can get healthy. It's the pace the two have. And certainly would help too with the scoring drought that Seattle's on right now. Weatherholt, Shinomi. Time for a final push in the first half. Meza.
Again, Seattle just happy to sit off here. They're not going to high press. Some teams love to get you around the box and try and high press you there and get good turnover ball, but they're happy to sit halfway through this half of the Courage, and now they start pressing.
Manaka Williams surging forward into the box. Ryan Williams off the cross. Betford can't get there.
Wow, that was brilliant play from the Courage. The way they built up, the way they played through the press, and they got Ryan Williams' feet on that right-hand side. They got numbers in the box. Quality bit of play from North Carolina then. Perhaps deserved a little bit more.
Well, no goals in the first 45 minutes between Seattle and North Carolina. We're at a draw at a halftime here at Lumen Field.
Yeah, it's a lot of thinking to do there for Laura Harvey. She'll be happy with the fact that they've kept a clean sheet. Claudia Dickey making one fantastic save from Monarca header. But she'll also want to get the 3 points at home. She talks so much about winning at home. She's going to have to make changes, you would think, in that second half and get a little bit more on the front foot.
Well, this Seattle team has kept 2 straight clean sheets here at Lumen Field. And now it's about, as you said, finding the back of the net. And for North Carolina, just trying to move into playoff position, which they can do with a win on the road here tonight. Both teams walking back to the locker room to talk things over, but a very winnable game for both North Carolina and Seattle. Second time they're meeting here in 2025. Now these fans, well, I think they're hoping for some goals in this one. We are joined by keeper for Seattle, Claudia Dickey. Claudia, I have to ask you about that save that you made on Manaka's header. What did you see on that opportunity?
I mean, honestly, I think I got a little lucky that she hit it right at me because she's such a good player, but just a reaction save. I don't think it's the most athletic I've ever looked, but yeah, happy that my teammates made it difficult for her to get that header and yeah, make the save and still be in the game.
Yeah, crucial save nonetheless, Claudia. And let's just ask you about at home, 5 clean sheets in 10 at Lumen Field. What's different about you guys playing at home to being on the road?
I think it's the fans. Like always, everybody will say that, but I think the fans here just bring such a different environment, and it's so fun to play, like in front of all your friends and family and the city of Seattle, and like doing it for them. Like obviously on away trips, it's hard, but I think doing it at home is extra special, and we have extra motivation at home as well.
Thanks, Claudia.
Thank you.
Well, there's Claudia Dickey right now. No score between Seattle and North Carolina. We'll take a break, come back with a halftime report after this.
Facts.
Well, a look at the world-famous Seattle Fish Market here. No score yet between the Seattle Reign and the North Carolina Courage, as we have played 45 minutes here at Lumen Field. Top 8 teams at the moment with this score in the NWSL. North Carolina would move past Racing Louisville.
But just on goal difference as opposed to points, and all can be caught. Again, if teams behind them like Racing Louisville win, they'll be level with the likes of Seattle, San Diego, Portland. Orlando just 1 point further ahead. It's so tight for those playoff places with 4 matches only to go after tonight's match is over.
Well, we do know that Kansas City and Washington are in the postseason here in 2025. Washington with quite the decisive victory over Houston today.
Well, Gift Monday was in absolutely brilliant form. There goes round the goalkeeper, slots us in from a tight angle. And did she have a match tonight? Absolutely destroyed Houston Dash. More goals still to come from their star striker.
Well, Monday, as you said, not done yet. Here's her second goal.
She follows up the header. She's the one who gets the header initially. Keeper makes a save. She follows it up, back of the net. That's her second. Celebrations going on all around. Pressure kept on coming. Crosses kept on coming. Near post. This time she redirects with her left foot for her hat-trick. And that was all in a short space of time in the first half.
Well, Trinity Rodman and Croy Bethune assisting on those for Washington. And then this is maybe the goal of the weekend.
Oh, look at this little bit of skill coming up here from Sofia Cantore, the Italian. Absolutely brilliant. Have a look at the left foot comes around and just flicks it up. Wonderful skills.
Well, a disappointing day for the Houston Dash. Washington proving why they're a top 2 team right now in the NWSL. We'll take a break and then we'll come back with highlights from this one, Seattle and North Carolina from Lumen Field. Well, halftime in Seattle, Washington. No score between the Seattle Reign and the North Carolina Courage. Alongside Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Well, Gary, it's anybody's game right now. No goals so far. Everyone's protecting themselves. What do you expect here in the second?
Well, I'm hoping for goals.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for lots more excitement than the first half. As you said, it was a very, very tight first half, but the best chance is certainly going to North Carolina Courage.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights. I know you want to talk about this save from Claudia Dickey, but first, these two teams walking on the pitch in an early test for the keeper for Seattle.
Oh, here is that header from Monarca. She says it's a lucky one it came out of it. It came out of it with such speed and pace. She does brilliantly there, Claudia Dickey, just to get that onto the crossbar. And so unlucky for North Carolina Courage.
It's very humble about it when we chatted to her, but that's one of the only looks that we're going to see in this game. Just Fishlock, though, catching Jordan off her line.
She was well off her line. If the shot's better, then she would have had it, but the ball came very quickly to him. Once again, down the right-hand side, where Courage have caused a lot of problems there. Ryan Williams pulls this one back, and just they can't find another Courage shirt there, but they certainly were the better team in terms of attack. Lots of work for Phoebe McLennan and company to do second half.
All 3 points on the line between the Seattle Reign and the North Carolina Courage. Second half after this. Just about ready to start the second half between the Seattle Reign and the North Carolina Courage as we close out the weekend here. It's week 22 in the NWSL. The home side, Seattle, starting with the ball. No subs for the Courage or the Reign as Dickey plays it long. Williams backtracks. That will be a throw-in for Maddie Darlene. We did not see a lot of chances for really either side in that first 45 minutes. 5 shots for North Carolina, 2 for Seattle, but no shots on target for the Reign. Off the service, headed down by Kurtz. Menti corrals it in. And a bit of a soft pass. Taken by Williams. And Huerta back defensively. Alongside former Man United keeper Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Sunday night in the NWSL. Huerta, Bug. Mondesir. Disrupted by Lucy. Weatherholt sweeps it away from Curry and then gets pushed by Maddie Curry.
Getting clever from Weatherholt, just gets her body between Curry and the ball, feels a nudge, goes down, gets the free kick, and just looking at Seattle Reign and wondering, are they going to try and be more positive in attack, put numbers up? Are they going to wait and give it 10-15 minutes, make some substitutions, and then try and attack a little bit more? Just curious as to what they've discussed in that locker room and what their process is going to be in the second half.
Well, have to be careful because North Carolina is tied for tied for the league lead in second half goals with 18 this year. Kurtz, Bell. Seattle sitting back again.
I do get the sense that subs will play a very important role in this game, especially for Seattle. Jess Fishlock unlikely to go the full 90 minutes, so expect to see changes at some stage. If she comes off, maybe Emery Adames, for example, might come on as one of the top goal scorers for Seattle Reign. You've got Mia Fischel as well. And maybe then start to sort of be slightly more attacking in nature.
Bedford to Lucy. Manaka. Wide to Bedford. Off the cross. No problem for Claudia Dickey.
It's a pity Bedford couldn't get it far post. Linehan had just ghosted in on her own. Have a look at the very top of the picture there. Linehan hand up, just saying, I'm on my own, get the ball to me, it'll be a tap in. And unfortunately for North Carolina Courage, Bedford just couldn't find her.
No, prior to the last two matches, Hannah Bedford had not played in 2 straight games, just a coach's decision for Nathan Thackeray. Manisir. Off the swing from Menti. Darlene. Taking on Williams. Darlene shoots and she scores! Maddie Darlene! The 4th goal for the rookie this year. And Seattle doesn't need too many chances to find the back of the net.
That's a really good finish from Maddie Darlene, and we suggested she was going to play that winger role. It's her pace that's so good. She cuts inside. As a defender, you've got to push her down the line, not inside there. And Ryan Williams might want to rethink this one, rather guide her down the line. She allows her to come inside. Still, it's a really good shot. Marissa Jordan gets her hand on it. The keeper can't keep it out the back of the net. That's how good a strike it is from Maddie Darlene. And for me, she can be the difference for this Seattle Reign side. And she's just proven it here with a fabulous goal.
Well, that's the first shot on target for Seattle in this game, and it's a goal. So efficient, as we said. And you said this in the... Well, it looks like Eric Ging just made a motion that he's going to look at this in VAR at the goal.
I'm wondering what the problem could be. If it's an offside, surely he'd just be told that Maddie Darlene was offside. Let's maybe get a hint of what the problem might be. And yes, they're pointing to an offside position for Maddie Darlene, and just from the naked eye, I would think she is. That left foot of hers is in an offside position. So I wonder if this is going to be overturned by Eligio Araguin.
No, Maddie Darlene, like you said, just perhaps a step offside. It's not a straight look there, but it does look like her foot is past Kaylee Kurtz. Here's the decision from our center referee. And it looks like no goal for Maddie Darlene. Laura Harvey is not pleased.
That's frustrating for Seattle Reign, but when you see it the way we have, she does look like she is a step offside, unfortunately. Let's have a look at it again as the ball is kicked. If you ever look at the sort of markings on the ground, she then moves back into an onside position. But yeah, so annoying for Laura Harvey. But it should give them hope that they can get at this North Carolina Courage defense. And once again, it's the pace of Maddie Darlene out wide that's going to be useful.
Well, Manaka and company looking to pounce. Linehan. Jackson. Shinomi with her left foot fires right into McLaren. Manaka had gone down at the top of the box there.
That's relief for Nathan Thackeray. Didn't want to go 1-0 down at Lumen Field. There's drama. You sense this drama to come in this match. It's so finely balanced. There's so much at stake here tonight. Tempers are getting heated. Yellow cards are coming out.
Well, just saw a yellow card shown to, it looks like Harvey. Scott Parkinson, assistant coach, is there as well, but it looks like that one's to the head coach for Seattle.
I'm sure it's frustrating for Laura Harvey and company, but those sort of decisions are easier to see. It's not a judgment call. You're either offside or you're not. And I think, you know, VAR have the lines that can be drawn. They must have clearly seen it was an offside decision. And it's not a judgment call from the referee.
Well, that was executed exactly how Seattle would have liked to, because they've been sitting back. Darlene, maybe a second chance at this, but stepping to his bell.
What it has done, though, it's fired up the crowd. They'd last got some life in this match from a Seattle point of view. Have been defending the majority of the game. Now the crowd are getting animated. They want to see more. They believe that their team now are on the front foot. So even though the goal was disallowed, it probably will still help Seattle Reign.
Curry chips it up. Fishlock rising for it. Linehan clears. Bedford. Lucy charging forward. 3 defenders surround Tyler Lucy now as she takes a tumble. Kurtz. Jordan. No weather holds. Manaka off her body. Controls. Lucy being pestered there by Mondesier. And the Haitian is called for the foul.
She's worked so hard, Mondesier. She's got back, she's defended, and she looks a little bit gassed. And I just wonder if she might be one of the players who in the next 5, 10, even 15 minutes gets taken off for the likes of an Emery Adames or even a Mia Fischel, someone with fresh legs.
Oh, this match is brought to you by Tide, the official laundry care partner of the NWSL.
Possession once again for the Courage. They got the figures right up to 70% in that first half, so domination of the ball, but just shows you on the transitional counter-attacks how dangerous Seattle can be. Only a foot or so allowing that goal to be disallowed.
North Carolina looking to build. Williams off the cross. Lucy stretching for it, and it lands for Meza. Haitama the other way. Opportunity to counter. Bounces through to Darlene. Fishlock makes a run. Quick combination with Jess Fishlock. Darlene drives. A little poke there from Lucy. The other way for Manaka now. Thackeray just wants him to go a little bit faster and forward.
I'm going to say, because there were so many blue shirts still stuck up front. There was big gaps there in that Seattle defense. Now they've got everybody behind the ball.
Shinomi, Lucy. Bell. Williams. Off the service, Bedford brave with it, and she scores! Hannah Bedford through the air, and North Carolina has the lead. That's her second goal this year.
That is such a good move from North Carolina. Courage down that right-hand side, got the ball out wide. They played it neatly in this build-up. Have a look at the space here. Maddie Darlene's got to get across a lot quicker. She's allowed the ball to be crossed in, and then Hannah Bedford, great run there, just gets in front of Phoebe McLennan and gets a header into the corner. It's a fantastic header, but what a good ball in as well. And just a little bit of loose defensive play, both out wide there by Seattle Reign and here on a one-to-one basis. And North Carolina Courage take advantage, and they're 1-0 up.
No, Hannah Bedford hadn't scored since the final game before the summer break against Houston. It was a free agent signing from Utah. And that's exactly what North Carolina needed. After they had all that possession time, sometimes Seattle can trick you to think that you have the advantage with all that possession time and pounce like they did with that Darlene goal that was ultimately called back for Maddie Darlene being offside. So it's a gift for North Carolina, and they respond. Now up at Lumen Field.
What was that stat? 0, 6, and 4 when conceding first for Seattle Reign. So the stats don't make good reading for the home fans.
And still just 1 goal through 4 games. That is what's really concerning for Seattle, I would say.
It certainly is. And I wonder now whether Laura Harvey will look to her bench fairly soon, just to get some fresh legs, fresh bodies on the pitch. It gives you energy. It gets a much more positive atmosphere going when subs come on the pitch. And that's exactly what they need right now, Seattle Reign.
McLernan. Kurtz. Shinomi. Curry powers through, and it's picked up here by Jordan. Bell off the long ball. Manaka. The turn against Bug. Jackson. No, North Carolina unbeaten in the last 3 games. That includes back-to-back wins. Meza through the midfield. Manisir in a space. Against Kurtz, Manisir on the cross. Nobody on the end of that. Towards the back post for Fishlock. Well, half an hour to go. Saw Hannah Bedford head one home. North Carolina up. Meza takes a deflection. Shinomi. And Williams now.
Talking of Ryan Williams, what a cross for that goal as well. And in the first half, 2 or 3 times she bombed down that right-hand side, put in decent crosses. She was the one who crossed with that header from Manaka. They called for a brilliant save from Claudia Dickey. So massive impact that Ryan Williams has had on this match. Very impressed with her work down that right-hand side.
Well, Williams has played every single minute for North Carolina this year. So is Kaylee Kurtz. The Courage are the only team with 2 players to play every single minute so far this season. And for Williams, her 8th year in the NWSL.
Yeah, some of those crosses were just top class. You could see the place she put it for Hannah Bedford was to guide her and say, you're running to the near post, let me bend it in there, I'll put the pace on it for you, I just need you to get ahead of your defender and then just guide it into the corner. And that's exactly what Hannah Bedford did. Brilliant finish, but what a great assist as well.
Curry Searching for Haitama. Jackson. Williams. Linehan floats on the ball. And a mistimed tackle there by Sam Meza. A free kick is on the way. Sam Meza doesn't look totally comfortable right now.
She's worked so hard in that midfield, Sam Meza. Running around, closing down the opposition. She just lunges in a little bit there, tries to pull out, and then I think she just gets a bit of contact. Again, you just wonder, is that time to start making some substitutions? You've got Anharad James Turner on the bench as an option.
Well, it does look like Laura Harvey will make a pair of subs here. So Ainsley McCammon and Emery Adamis, two teenagers, will enter the game for Seattle. Mondesir out, Jess Fishlock out.
As I thought, Jess Fishlock, she does a very good job, but she can't really last the 90 minutes. She normally comes on as a sub, an impact sub. And Mondesir, you can see she was tired a few minutes ago. She really has worked hard in this match, up and down. So it makes sense to make these two subs.
So North Carolina just took the lead. This is how it impacts the standings here in the NWSL. North Carolina would move past Seattle into 7th place, and then Seattle would just be floating above that playoff line.
Look how tight that is. 30 points for Seattle, 31 for the next 3 teams. And Racing Louisville 29. A win takes them above those 4 teams ahead of them, should those other teams not win. So it's super tight around that 8th and final playoff position.
No one wants to be in 8th too, because you get Kansas City in the first round.
That's true.
Well, discussions here in North Carolina and Seattle as Sam Meza is still being tended to. And Meza trying to put some weight on that leg. Still wincing a little bit. We'll see if she's able to continue, but absolutely crucial in the midfield for Seattle. There's Hannah Betfort, the goal scorer in this game. It doesn't look like those subs have been made yet, so Fishlock and Mondesir are still in this match. McCammon and Adamis gearing up to be sent on. First, this free kick for North Carolina. Jackson. Kurt's header. And it took a deflection backwards. McLaren off the clear. Well, here come those changes. Emery Adamis for Mondesir. Ainsley McCammon for Jess Fishlock. McCammon's 18, Adamis is 19.
This is a big game for Emery Adamis. She only had 11 minutes against KC Curran, so she's going to want to prove something in this time she has on this match. And 6 goals already this season for Emery Adamis. For McCammon, more of a midfield working job to do to try and shut down North Carolina coverage, make sure they don't get a second.
Well, Adamis tied for the most goals by a teenager in a single season. The other players on that list, Sam Kerr, Trinity Rodman, Jaden Shaw, and Mallory Swanson. So she's in some pretty good company.
Just a bit. Wouldn't it be good if she scores a goal and goes ahead of that company?
Well, Adamas just 11 minutes against Kansas City. Didn't play in that game against Racing Louisville. She's been in and out in terms of just getting minutes for Laura Harvey. Was the youngest signing at the time in club history. It was the first U18 signing. McCammon has since passed that mark. McCammon was signed at 16 years old.
A little bit of a wayward pass there from Sam Meza, just overhit that, and Marissa Jordan not worrying about time now. They're 1-0 up, just over 20-odd minutes to go. They're in a great position now, looking for their third win in a row, which would be an incredible achievement. And again, credit to Nathan Thackeray and his coaching staff. As you said earlier, a lot of changes, both on and off the pitch, players injured, players sold. And through all of that, they've not only survived it, they're now heading towards a possible third one on the trot.
Darlene a little overzealous on that last challenge. McCammon. Menti. Cut off by Kaylee Kurtz. Jordan. Lucy to Weatherholt, and it's partially blocked. Haitama. McCammon. Adamas off her left foot. She scored all of her goals with that left foot. Little heel pass, and it's right to Shinomi.
She's got clever touches, Emery Adamas. It didn't come off there, but that's what you need around the fringes of the box. You need actually in the box, because it's those sort of little tricks that will confuse defenders, and maybe you win a penalty. You've just got to try and get service and get her into that box there and see if she can make something happen for the home side.
Bedford just pulled up a little bit, and she couldn't get to that ball after the fact. Darlene. Meza. About 20 minutes ago, and Seattle searching for the equalizer. Still no shots on target because the goal was called back for Maddie Darlene. And just 2 total shots in this game for Seattle. Curry. Ripped away by Tyler Lucy. He's done a lot of good defensive work for North Carolina today. McLaren. Adamas. Trying to combine with McCammon.
Now it's North Carolina's turn to sit behind the ball in a low, mid to low block and just defend, try and hold on to that 1-0 lead and maybe get a second on the counter.
Jolted to Adamas off the cross. Heitema scores! It's an equalizer for Seattle! Jordan Heitema, her 4th goal this year. And we're level here at Lumen Field.
Oh, it's an important goal from Jordan Heitema, but Adamas is the one that we said came on with a little bit of skill and creativity and could do something different. Well, she gets in front of Shinomi here and then puts in a great ball. It's a difficult one. Did it come off Heitema last or Ryan Williams? Difficult to see here. They're both going for the ball at the same time. But it's Emery Adamas, that fresh legs and fresh approach and getting in the box and putting in a dangerous ball that makes it possible. And Heitema, or possibly an own goal, is what's got them back into this match. And Seattle Reign have something to work with now.
Well, Adamas, definition of a game changer there. And that's ignited the crowd here at Lumen Field. Well, Manaka, too, is uncomfortable. And it looks like Manaka's walking off the pitch. And the training staff is out to look at the leading scorer for North Carolina.
It's got the crowd all pumped up now, and they want more. Credit to Laura Harvey and her coaching team. They made the 2 changes, and that has got them right back in the game. And our star interviewer before the match, Jordan Heitemer, you asked the question about how are you going to score goals and what they have to do, and she said we've got to be more attacking. Well, they haven't been until about 5 to 10 minutes ago, and already with that different attitude, getting more bodies in the box, they've got themselves back on level terms.
Well, Hannah Betford, the goal scorer for North Carolina, going to come out of this game. Aline Gomes comes in. And it looks like Manaka also exits. I mentioned that she was getting checked out by the training staff, so that's a big loss for North Carolina to have your leading scorer go off this early. And it's Talia Stouty who comes in. Stouty had been a center back for North Carolina this year. Started 6 straight from April to June. Her last appearance was just a minute against Utah on the 6th of September. Stouty. Linehan, tight angle, Dickey has it.
Well, this is promising to be a really exciting last 15 minutes or so, because Seattle Reign are certainly going to want to win this one. They've got their tails up. And North Carolina Courage, they're good on the transition and counter-attack. They will look to try and catch the situation where Seattle Reign have too many players forward. So buckle in for the last 15 minutes.
Well, the playoff push continues with Ion's doubleheader on Saturday. The North Carolina Courage taking on Racing Louisville, followed by Sam Coffey and the Portland Thorns welcoming Bay FC. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Ion. Darlene picking up speed. Heitema stretching for that one. That's rejected by Kurtz. Huerta off of Gomes, and a corner kick on the way for Seattle. So it looks like VAR is going to confirm that as an own goal. It's not going to be a Jordan Heitema goal. So it's off of Ryan Williams.
That's a tough one for Ryan Williams, but there's not much she could have done. She had to run with Jordan Heitema. They were both coming in towards the goal. She was focusing on stopping Heitema from scoring, and it came off her body. She must just forget about that now and focus on dealing with the pressure that's going to come from the home side.
Adames off the corner kick. Lucy gets in front of it. On the second ball, McLaren. Bell. Bug gets around. Jordan Bug off the cross. No. A little bit of life here for Seattle. Bug, the center back. Chips it forward. Jordan, no problem. Well, this match is brought to you by Tide, the official laundry care partner of the NWSL.
Well, someone's flicked a switch at Seattle Reign 10 minutes ago, because until that moment they were struggling to get forward. Now it's wave after wave of attack, and they look a totally different side. Even Jordan Bug got herself into the box there looking to try and score.
Adames just created that equalizer. Menti off of Kurtz. Well, here's the thing about North Carolina. They've been a bit of a cardiac courage as of late. They've scored 9 goals in the final 15 minutes of matches. They've conceded 8 goals in the final 15 minutes of matches. Gomes gets a build going here with Linehan. Slicing through, Jackson. And Dickey has it. Did get a quality shot off there, Riley Jackson.
I just wonder if there was a better option for Riley Jackson. You could see Tyler Lucy was waiting in the box for a potential pass there, and it didn't come. You can't criticize strikers when they shoot. It's their instinct, or midfielders, it's their instinct to have a go. But sometimes just head up and see if there's a better option.
No, Linehan and Lucy aggressive in that press against McLaren. Weatherholt.
Just overhit there by Talia Stoudy. There's a good possibility if she'd have got the pass on target. It wasn't to be. As mentioned, North Carolina Courage are not sitting on this 1 point they have. They've got numbers up. They're looking for this high press.
It could open things up the other way for Seattle as well, though, if they can beat it. Kurtz. Lucy. McLernon. Sam Meza with control now for Seattle. Pass ahead to Darlene. Williams making it difficult. Gomes. Well, Gomes scored the last time these two teams played in week 2. Bell has to be careful. Darlene is bothering. She smells blood in the water. Linehan. Shinomi. Williams. Gomes. And Dickey's just going to settle things down here. Off the rollout to McGammon. Adames. The touch to Meza, now Bug. Both goals scored in the second half. First North Carolina, Betfort. Then an own goal off of Ryan Williams created by Emery Adames. Jordan Haitamo was involved. And Seattle brought us level. Menti. Darlene. Looking to take the lead. Maddie Darlene moves it to the middle and scores! Maddie Darlene! That is her 4th goal this year. She had one called back earlier today. But Maddie Darlene, a late score for Seattle. And the fans here at Lumen Field celebrating.
And once again, defensively, North Carolina Courage have allowed Maddie Darlene to cut in on the inside. It's Ryan Williams once again. This is how the first goal, the disallowed goal was scored, allowed to come inside on her right foot. Goalkeeper gets a hand to it. Marissa Jordan nearly keeps it out, but the power is just too much, goes under her body there. But surely you have to push her down the line. And you've already seen her score from a similar position when it was disallowed. And yet again, she gets in the right position. Her pace is something that's hard to defend against, to be fair. And she gets the breakthrough, and this time Laura Harvey. I love that celebration. She is so pumped up after that first one being disallowed. She is loving it there at Lumen Field.
That was a fucking awesome goal. You brought that guy.
Now Darlene, after the celebration, just had to be stretched out. Well, quite a turn of events. Nothing really created in that first half for either of these teams, and then we see 3 goals combined, and we still have quite a bit of time to go in this one.
Again, it's very similar to the Racing Louisville match in that Racing Louisville dominated the majority of it and got hit at the very end by that Jess Fishlock goal. And it was the last 10 minutes when Seattle Reign came to life, and they've done something fairly similar here, maybe the last 20 minutes coming to life. But what a different team they look like when they have the likes of Emery Adames on the pitch and Maddie Darlene pushed high up so they can use her pace.
No, Darlene showing why she earned her spot back in the starting 11 for Laura Harvey after coming in off the bench in the last 2 games. Looks like Darlene's going to have to come out here for the Reign. It's Anna Maria Crnogorcevic who replaces her. And now for Seattle, it's just about protecting. Gave up a goal. Getting some love from Parkinson and from Laura Harvey. Hannah Betfort scored, and now Seattle 2 unanswered. Haitama.
I think it was a delayed offside call there. But just talking about Maddie Darlene, one disallowed by just a foot in the wrong place on the offside call. Just shows you what a dangerous player she is. And I think she's probably put her hand up for a start in the next match, in the next few matches. That's how good and dangerous a player she is.
Just 21 years old. Was one of the most highly touted players without the draft. Rookies coming in. Those that watch college soccer know that Darlene was part of the North Carolina team that won a national championship. Her time with the U20 squad with the U.S. women's national team. And at the beginning of the season, Darlene was creating so much. She was beating defenders, but just so many shots that didn't result in goals. And finally, she's found her footing, placing those shots well. And now she's contributed to 7 goals this year in the NWSL with 4 goals and 3 assists. About 5 minutes to go. That Darlene goal, very deflating for this North Carolina team. Can they work their way back into this match? This team has scored a lot at the end of games, which I mentioned, including Shinomi in the 89th minute last week. In fact, Shinomi's goal was a 7th lead-changing goal, so an equalizer or a go-ahead goal scored by the Courage after the 80th minute this season. That's the most by any team in the regular season since 2017. So what I'm saying is, we're not done yet. McLaren. It really hurts, though, North Carolina to have Manaka off the pitch in these moments.
She is so good at getting the ball and turning in one move, and you play out of defense with Manaka. She turns and she's already on the attack, causing problems, and that's the part of her game they're going to miss while she's off the pitch. Or let's hope it's only for today she's off and that her injury recovers quickly.
Well, Natalie Jacobs comes in for Danny Weatherholt. Jacobs traded from Houston to this North Carolina team just a couple of weeks ago. And Malia Berkeley went to the Dash, and then Meredith Speck comes in. Ryan Williams out. Also for Ryan Williams, that's the first time she's left a game this season.
Taking out some defenders and going to a 3-back, you assume, with Natalie Jacobs in there, and giving themselves an extra midfielder in Meredith Speck, someone who can maybe push forward and help get this equalizer.
Well, the 2025 NWSL Championship will be held at PayPal Park in San Jose, California. NWSL Championship will air live in primetime on CBS Saturday, November 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets are on sale now and available on Ticketmaster. For more info, please visit NWSLsoccer.com. Well, both these teams have dreams to make it there. First, they have to get in the postseason.
Well, as it stands in the live table, Seattle Reign in 4th position ahead of Orlando Pride. North Carolina Courage 9th, just outside of playoff position. But they do have a number of home games coming up, do the Courage. I think 3 of their last 4 are at home, so that's going to be crucial in getting them into a playoff spot.
Well, that makes that game against Racing Louisville next week very interesting for North Carolina.
1 point separating the two teams. It's going to be a massive game.
For now, Gomes wants to change that, though. The Brazilian. And it's a corner kick for North Carolina late in this match.
Aline Gomez was the one that broke away against Orlando Pride to set up that goal for Shinomi. I think in the 88th minute. Can she do something similar here in the last few minutes against Seattle?
Shinomi. Linehan. Off the service from Shinomi, headed down by Huerta. Meza all the way back to the midfield. Jacobs. Linehan. Shinomi. Well, 8,500 in attendance here at Lumen Field. They're hoping for a home playoff game in that first round. Another sub for Seattle. It's a defensive-minded sub here. Lauren Barnes going to come in. Sally Menti comes out because Menti's also on a yellow card. And you bring in Lauren Barnes. She's been with the club since 2013, since its inception. Now 249 games played for Barnes, most in NWSL history. Meredith Speck off her left foot, far post, and Cerner Gorsevic heads it away. 9 minutes of stoppage time for the Courage. Heather McNabb comes in the game. This is a final change for North Carolina. Shinomi exits. Shinomi's now just watching this corner kick. Riley Jackson will take it. Jackson on the outswinger. Rising for it, Haitama. Second ball, Speck. Kurtz misses it. That was a good chance for North Carolina.
It was. If Kaylee Kurtz gets a shout, there's a chance for her to put out her foot and maybe control that ball as it came in. I assume that she was just throwing her body at it, thinking that there were a bunch of players around her. But it might have turned out to be a better chance than she thought. Ball just knocked straight back in there, creating all sorts of problems in defense.
Gomes. Played long. Dickey just shades it there. Off the pickup.
No rush by Claudia Dickey. She'll do everything she can to work that clock down. I'd assume she'd knock it long. You want to try and get it into the opponent's half at this stage of the game.
Well, this was the scoreline when these two teams played week 2. Seattle with the victory. Jackson. Bell. Kurtz. Gomes rushing to it. And a goal kick for Dickey.
Good pressure there from Emery Adama, is just forcing that long ball, which was slightly overhit. Once again, Claudia Dickey will take time. This works to Seattle's advantage, all these balls going out of play. Just good opportunities to work the clock down.
Huerta. Kurtz. Lucy. Bug. Jacobs. And Haitama over the back. She fouls Stouty. There's still a lot of time to go. Bell. Slams that right into Crnogorcevic.
Good block. Anything you can do just to slow the pace down for North Carolina Courage. Of course, their job to do the opposite, to get in behind the defense, try and get crosses in the box. Look how many jerseys they have right on the edge of the box there, just waiting for some sort of service.
Adamis. Nice ball ahead for Crnogorcevic. Gonna kill some clock here. Head to the corner if she can. A Swiss international. Jacobs. Jackson. Kurtz. Takes her space there, Kaylee Kurtz. Dickey squares it up and snags.
Again, just a wasteful ball, but what it does, not only is it not a good ball, but it gives the ball back to Claudia Dickey, and Laura Harvey there stressed and just trying to see out these last few minutes, but her celebration a bit earlier was absolutely brilliant to see her so pumped up. And she knows what this means. It's a big difference between being fourth in the table above Orlando Pride and being on the edge of a playoff spot. So she's super, super pumped up when that goal went in.
Well, she's hoping to lead this Seattle team to the postseason for the 6th time in her career. Gomes. Far post back, and it sails out of play.
It's another bad ball. There were four, look at the 4 strikers, or 4 players anyway, in the box, all waiting for that ball to come across there from Aline Gomes. She mishits here, she's shaking her head, she knows, but they've got the bodies in. Just needed a good ball whipped in that might have caused all sorts of problems. And the last 3 or 4 opportunities for North Carolina Courage have just ended up in poor final passes.
Jackson. All the way back. Jacobs. Off the long ball. About 2 minutes to go, and Speck, McLaren both go down, and Meredith Speck just commits a foul against the center back for Seattle, who lays on the pitch and is getting stretched out by Lauren Barnes.
And McLennan doing well there to battle for that ball, to win the ball as well. Have a look. She's got eyes on the ball, wins it, and then as Speck falls, she trips over it. Nothing intended there at all. McLennan, eyes on the ball, wins that header and just buys her team a bit more time as that clock is seriously winding down now for Nathan Thackeray. Yeah, he's just shaking his head. His team have played well, especially the first half, totally dominant. If they do leave here without a point, are going to be most disappointed after the performance they've put in.
Adamis. Oh, there's a call. Harvey asking for it. About a minute to go.
No rush again from Seattle Reign. As Madison Curry walks past the ball, Lou Barnes is going to look at it, decide what to do, and they're probably going to try and play it into the corner and just work that clock down a bit more.
Time wasting there. Another card comes out against Barnes.
Well, not a surprise. They were all pushing the limit there as far as they could to take time off the clock. And let's see if again they try and play it into that far corner, or near corner I should say, and try and waste some more time.
Barnes hiked him up. On Seattle ball. Heitema gonna let Curry throw this one in. Adamis. Smack. North Carolina just wants to get out of this corner. Lucy. McLaren. Jackson. Into the unknown here at Lumen Field. Gomes. The Brazilian splits two defenders. Gomes. McNabb. Just her second appearance in the NWSL. Jacobs from distance. Too high. And that was the final look of the game. Laura Harvey pumped up. It's a come from behind win for Seattle. 2-1 against North Carolina.
Brilliant comeback win by Laura Harvey and her side. And she knows how important that is. They're now sitting fourth in the table. What a difference from being on the edge of a playoff spot. Maddie Darlene, magical. One goal disallowed, another one scored. Brilliant. Dickey, don't forget that save she made first half. Top class save.
So Hannah Betfort scores for North Carolina here in the second half. And then two straight, an own goal. And Maddie Darlene, the game winner, her fourth this year. And Seattle wins 2-1. Laura Harvey loves it. We'll break it down on the other side.